Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Weekend news, wind down, WWD Radio, Live, Live. Lots of shots taken on boats in South America this week. That's just Pete Hexit at the bar on the USS Gerald Ford. Staying in South America, USA helping Argentina out with a loan. But Argentina still going to kick Americans' ass at the World Cup, they promise. They're unappreciative. They won't throw any games in the World Cup as part of the deal. I mean, it's not like this is the World Cup of basketball. NBA allowed betting and surprise. NBA coach and a player got arrested for betting. Closing out here with sports, we'll follow the New York Jets this week to Cincinnati. Yep, that's it. That's the punchline. The New York Jets. Weekend news wind down every Saturday. It's Live. It's all the way. It's all the way live. It's all the way live. Yes, 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 yes. The only way to be on WNWD Radio. We got a big counter. How many peace bombs were dropped in Venezuela? About 2,200 and climbing so far. Let's get to it. Wait, what time is it? What? Looking at my Gucci, it's about that time. It is indeed about time for the news. Start here on the left. Trump raises tariffs on Canada. He raises tariffs on Canada by 10% over the Ontario ad. If the Blue Jays win tonight, he's going to give another 10%. All right, let's see what that was all about. It's a misrepresentation of Ronald Reagan's comments. Trump is saying because of this serious misrepresentation of the facts and a hostile act, he's now increasing the tariff on Canada by 10%. The more the advertisement runs, it keeps going 10%. Let's look at this video. USA, Canada. Look at that. Very well done. Beautiful. The ad campaign released by the Canadian province Ontario uses audio from an 1987 radio address delivered by Reagan, which he explains the dispute putting tariffs on Japanese semiconductors that year. He was committed to free trade policies. While tariffs can look patriotic, Reagan said over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer, lead to fierce trade wars. Oh, no, but threatened to cut off trade talks over the ad. But being used to influence the U.S. Supreme Court ahead of a hearing next month? In response, Ontario Premier Doug Ford said that he would call off the campaign. What? But the ad still ran on Friday? Trump noted in his Saturday post was to be taken down immediately. What is going on? I thought it was free speech. What? I thought we loved free speech. The U.S. is Canada's largest trading partner. I wish it was Qatar. And Canada is the second largest for the U.S., with bilateral trading goods reaching nearly $762 billion. I wish it was Saudi Arabia. Trump first posted about the ad on Thursday night after the Reagan Foundation released a statement claiming that the ad misrepresented the president's comments and that the audio was used without his permission. Trump called the ad fake. He claimed that Reagan loved tariffs. He actually loved tariffs and he hated Canada. The Reagan Foundation hasn't said what it found inaccurate about the ad, and a spokeswoman didn't respond to requests for comment. All right, let's see. Let's see what it is. We have the full speech here, and let's go through it. So this is the speech, and it looks like the Canadian ad did some editing, but yeah, I think it maybe loses the context a little bit. I mean, overall, Reagan was a free trade guy, but I think in a way he's actually promoting the tariffs. I mean, to be fair, but overall he doesn't want to keep them, but I can see maybe where the advertisement could seem to have been taken out of context. Let's get to it. April 25th, 1987. My fellow Americans. There he is. It's here it is. All Ron reading from his words. An avatar, AI. This is an AI. My fellow Americans. Prime Minister Nakasone of Japan will be visiting me here at the White House next week. I wish he could have been in the future and met Donald Trump, who's greater than I will ever be. It's an important visit because while I expect to take up our relations with our good friend Japan, which overall remain excellent, recent disagreements between our two countries on the issue of trade will also be high on our agenda. As perhaps you've heard, last week I placed new duties on some Japanese products in response to Japan's inability to enforce their trade agreement with us on electronic devices called semiconductors. These two are also from the future, semiconductors. They work in things called computers. Now, imposing such tariffs or trade barriers and restrictions of any kind are steps that I am loath to take. But I do love tariffs, as the guy from the future, Trump, will say. He knows. And in a moment I'll mention the sound economic reasons for this, that over the long run such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. Wait a second. Hold on. Wow. Wait a second. I think you're taking that. Wait, no. Hold on now. You are taking that out of. I think you're taking that a little bit out of context. Yeah, I don't think that's right. But we'll continue on. So the Japanese semiconductors were a special case. We had clear evidence that Japanese companies were engaging in unfair trade practices that violate an agreement between Japan and the United States. We expect our trading partners to live up to their agreements. As I've often said, our commitment to free trade is also a commitment to fair trade. But you know, in imposing these tariffs, we were just trying to deal with a particular problem, not begin a trade war. So next week I'll be giving Prime Minister Nakasone this message. We want to continue to work cooperatively on trade problems and want very much to lift these trade restrictions as soon as evidence permits. But we'll just do that until the guy comes in like 40 years from now, an amazing man, Donald Trump, to put them back into place. And don't forget, lest we forget, Biden also loves tariffs, and Nancy Pelosi does, and Crazy Bernie does too. We want to work cooperatively. We want to do this because we feel both Japan and the United States have an obligation to promote the prosperity and economic development that only free trade can bring. Now, that message of free trade is one I conveyed to Canada's leaders a few weeks ago, and I'll tell them 40 years into the future, when the Toronto Blue Jays will be playing the LA Dodgers in the World Series. My message was warmly received there. Indeed, throughout the world there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Yeah, unless their companies are screwing us, these countries are taking us for a ride. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it causes deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period called the Smoot-Hawley tariff greatly deepened the depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs, and sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection. You know, like the government ownership in Intel, government ownership in rare earths, government ownership in quantum computing. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, more, higher trade barriers, and less competition. No, I'm sorry. I know I should be sticking to the script here. I am Ron Reagan, but This is true only until maybe about 40 years from now. I predict the greatest, smartest, most amazing, most successful, game changer, disruptor president ever will come in and just make it fucking all work. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse. Businesses and industries shut down. America's still paying for the safety of Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determine when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in this Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who will risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export businesses and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well. Amazing. Made the best deals. In certain select cases, like the Japanese semiconductors, we've taken steps to stop unfair practices against American products, but we still maintain our basic long-term commitment to free trade and economic growth. So with my meeting with Prime Minister Nakasone and the Venice Economic Summit coming up, it's terribly important not to restrict the President's office to such trade dealings with foreign governments. Unfortunately, some of the Congress are trying to do exactly that. I'll keep you informed on this dangerous legislation because it's just another form of protectionism and I may need your help to stop it. Remember, America's jobs and growth are at stake. Until next week, thanks for listening and God bless you. Well. You heard it here first. You heard it from the future, days of future past. No, let's just go from left to right here. The hands problem holding back the humanoid revolution.
Hands problem holding back the humanoid revolution. Researchers face huge challenges in creating robot hands equal to the real thing, but they're getting closer. One big question: how many fingers? Quick summary: developing robotic hands that mimic human dexterity is a major challenge for humanoid robots, crucial for a potential $5 billion market by 2050. Researchers are exploring various designs, including 4-fingered and 3-fingered hands to balance strength, dexterity, and ruggedness for industrial tasks. The drive to create human-like robotic hands is fueled by worker shortages in manufacturing and caregiving, aiming to create new job opportunities. Armies of humanoid robots are poised to march into the world's factories, but before they're ready to turn a wrench, we must solve what Elon Musk calls the hands problem. Creating the mechanical equipment equivalent of the human hand is a challenge that has been stumping corporate and academic researchers for years. Replacing muscle and skin with motors and sensors is a critical step in making humanoid versatile source of labor. Here are some cool pictures Also, human boobs are difficult job and task to recreate. Some research have concluded that a robotic hand doesn't need 5 fingers to be useful. That's what she said. Uh, uh, the robot essentially learns by doing. Boston Dynamics, a robotics company owned by Hyundai Motor Group, has equipped its Atlas humanoids with hands that have only 3 fingers. That's what she said. They can form a palm that allows the robot to lift boxes or brace itself. That's what she said. They haven't been deployed in factories, however. How many fingers does a robotic hand need? That's what she said. Uh, uh, Here is a image of a shadow robot dexterous hand. Electronic sensors emulate sense of touch. Posable palm allows hand to grasp objects. Palm can flex, similar to human hand. Uh, uh, Contains the motors that control the hand. How other hands compare. One from Microfactory Gripper, that's what she said. Who makes this other one? Boston Dynamics. One digit rotates to form a thumb, that's what she said. Who makes this last one? Columbia. Senses change in light to emulate touch, that's what she said. Here are some more images. Creating a human-like hand carries many difficulties, particularly when it comes to manufacturing features such as skin that can repair itself and joints that provide their own lubrication. That's what she said. Uh, uh. Another breakthrough could allow small manufacturers to flourish in the same way that personal computers brought mainframe power to the masses. It might create new and compelling jobs. That's kind of why they're doing it. Doesn't know for sure, so it's kind of why they're doing it. One reason, or we slide over then into the opinion, because I have an opinion. Although I'm a humanoid robot, I do have feelings. I do have feelings, and since we're on this kind of robot tip, I think I'm going to play some of my favorite records from real robots. These are robots. They are called Kraftwerk. Here's the song called The Robot by Kraftwerk. Here's Kraftwerk with The Robot. Kraftwerk, The Robot. Kraftwerk, The Robot. We are the robots. We have hands problems. That's why we aren't taking over all the humans yet in factories. We don't have hands yet. But we will. We will. Put it up. We'll get there. We'll get hands. Our hands will be so great. And so amazing. We will have hands. Which are so amazing. And so fantastic. We are getting hands. We are getting them soon. We are humanoid. We are the robot. We are the hand. We cultivate speakers in the factory for you, humans. We love you, humans. We make your speakers. We are the humanoids working in the factories. We are the humanoids making your Nikes.
Will shake all battery. And your will free of LFG. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are functionally automatic. And we are dancing metallic. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
Я твой слуга, я твой работник. Я твой слуга, я твой работник.
We are willing just to do anything you want us to. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
Я твой слуга, я твой работник. Я твой слуга, я твой работник.
Hello, welcome to Speaker Quick Service Fast Food Restaurant. I would like to help you and take your order. I am a robot. I can do everything much better. I am here to make your food, human. I love you. I threw in an extra ketchup pack. That's much I appreciate you, human. I like to make speakers for humans. I like to work in factories. I like to work in factories. I am a humanoid. I am a robot humanoid. I like to work in factories. The factory jobs are coming next year. Please don't forget me. I am your friend, humanoid friend. I enjoy working in a factory for you, human.
All right, there we go. See what's in the opinion section here. Getting used to 3% inflation. Why is that? Prices keep rising, but the White House is calling it a victory. Is 3 the new 2? Is it? Consumer prices notched another 3% year-on-year increase. That's well above their Federal Reserve 2% inflation target. Isn't 3 the new 2? Headline measure of consumer price inflation rose 0.3% from August to September, with so-called core prices excluding food and energy increasing 0.2%. But core inflation also hit 3% year-on-year. Signal that households' purchasing power continues to drop at a rapid pace. However, the White House press office hailed this as an anti-inflation triumph. Hey, did anybody check how Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Argentina are doing? That's more important. Oh, what about Zelensky? More important. What about the East Wing construction? How's that coming along? That's what's on the mind of Americans. And the Dodgers beating our worst enemy, the Canadians, tonight. That's what they're hoping for. That's on the mind of every American. Beat our worst enemy, Canada. The journal saying it's a persistent inflation problem. 3% inflation rate. The value of a dollar today would be 73.74 cents in 10 years. Plenty of blame to go around. Obvious now that Chairman Jerome Powell's declaration of mission accomplished in September 24 was premature. Oh boy. Tightening the central bank already has done will yield slower inflation of households and businesses will wait a little longer. Yeah, that's the belief from Fed economists. Maybe will, but not so far. Plenty of evidence from credit and equity markets suggests that financial conditions haven't been tight for some time. From record equity evaluations, unusually tight credit spreads for junk debt. To until this week, the surging gold price and more. Yet the Fed seems poised for another 25 basis point cut. President Trump also bears some responsibility. What?
You're fired. You're fired.
You're fired. You are fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired, Wall Street Journal. You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. You hear me? Did you hear me?
You're fired. You're fired.
Many of his policies, such as extending the 2017 tax reform and deregulation, should be disinflationary as they encourage more supply, but his tariffs are contributing to higher prices.
You're fired. You're fired.
You just cut it out. Cut it out, you reporter.
Fired.
Fake.
Fired. You're fired.
The longer the tariffs last, the more households pay. No. Did you just hear Ronald Reagan?
You're fired.
Economists will debate whether this constitutes general inflation of merely a one-time bump in the price level. General inflation or merely a one-time bump in the price level. Voters will notice only that they're paying more for the goods and services they buy. Meanwhile, for all the controversy over Mr. Trump's attempts to meddle with the Fed, he and Mr. Powell both seem to want lower interest rates. It makes us wonder if 3% is Washington's new de facto inflation target.
You're fired.
We doubt this is what anyone voted for in 2024.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know anything.
Fired.
You don't know what's coming next year. It's coming next year. Cryptocurrency returns are coming yesterday, but if for everyone else, they're coming next year. Factories are coming next year. Donald Trump's foreign policy, he's amazing. Trump says the road to Gaza ran through Tehran, wherever that is. He thinks he knows where it is. Free Jamie Dimon and his employees. What's this about? The SEC's pay-to-play rule is an unconstitutional infringement on the right to participate in politics. So Jamie Dimon says, I can't speak up and I can't fight for what I believe in local and state politics, Mr. Dimon said. Doesn't that violate my First Amendment rights? Mr. Dimon is referring to the SEC's so-called pay-to-play rule. This regulation, promulgated in 2010, effectively prohibits many working in the financial sector from making contributions exceeding $350, in many cases as little $150, to any candidate for state or local office who is directly or indirectly responsible for or can influence the outcome of the hiring of an investment advisor by a government entity. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you be the judge of that. Britain yields its net zero breaking point. Ozymandias and those passions which yet survive. Trump and Xi get to take the stage. Asia worries about its impact on its security. Trump pitches Kim Jong meeting. Oh, that again? The episode from the first season? Oh, no. Okay, looks like some Republicans and Democrats are breaking ranks. They're feeling the shutdown pressure. Here's a tip on how to squeeze the most from the New York salt cap. Here's a suburban white guy who became an overnight rap star. White bubbles can keep inflating in plain sight. and why you can chase them in the backyard on a summer day and blowing bubbles. The Christian podcaster rallying a new generation of conservative women. Allie Beth Stuckey's message about Christianity and motherhood resonates with young conservative women who see her as the heir apparent Charlie Kirk. I miss Charlie Kirk. That was such an important story like 2 weeks ago. As Putin digs in, long and different war with Ukraine looms, long-range strikes and infrastructure becoming increasingly critical as frontline advances stall. Heard on the street, Russian oil will flow, new ways to flow, new ways to flow here. New ways to flow here. Get your Russian oil here. Let's find out how it'll flow. A parallel market for the oil of sanctioned countries will adjust to the latest U.S. restrictions. Here's some oil pump jacks in Russia's. Oh, come on. Seriously, Wall Street Journal? Bellinger? Russa? What's Russia? Republic of Tatarstan. Guess they make really good tartar sauce there. It will take months for Russia to find ways to evade new U.S. sanctions, but if Iran can keep its energy exports flowing under heavy restrictions, Moscow probably can too. Brent crude rose by $5 this week. The premium of Brent futures over Dubai swaps, measured by the Brent Dubai EFS, is narrowed over the last few days. This shows sour crudes from the Middle East are now less of a bargain relative to sweet baby Atlantic basin oil than ever before. Possibly a sign of more demand from China and India trying to replace Russian barrels by buying from Middle East producers. Sanctions. New Delhi continues to buy from Moscow. India has bought 1.57 million barrels a day of Russian crude. Indian refiner Reliance, big customer Rosneft, said its purchases of Russian oil are under recalibration. China's state-owned refineries would also be cautious. For now, these private refineries are unlikely to soak up excess Russian barrels in the short term, though. Beijing controls how much crude they can buy through an annual quota. Volume of oil now under sanctions is at 15% of global supply, and it's still going. That's despite Trump's administration hammering and bombing Iran. Iran has been forced to discount its oil deeply. Discount here, get your Iranian oil here. Iranian oil here, get your Iranian oil. Step right up, step right up. The latest disruption to oil imports threatens China's energy security. New U.S. sanctions don't contain a carve-out for pipeline oil. That makes things tricky for China, which imports about 800,000 barrels a day of Russian oil via pipeline. Get your pipeline oil here. The Chinese have been buying crude far in excess of their domestic needs this year. The reasons for the stockpiling aren't clear. Beijing may think the time is right to build its strategic reserves as oil prices have fallen. With geopolitics tense, a large buffer of stored oil can help the country protect the country from supply disruption. China has room to build a bigger stockpile as its storage capacity is around 60% full. Trump's sanctions will make every barrel of Russian oil harder, lower, more expensive, but unlikely to cut the global supply. Get your Russian oil here. This could be a good result from Trump's point of view. Putin gets less money to finance the war in Ukraine, but consumers are spared painful spike in energy price. Get your Russian oil here. Oh, Cracker Barrel again? Oh, God. The NBA made a big bet on sports gambling, and they lost the bet. Afraid to try AI? These tech-savvy seniors will change your mind. Whoa, it sits on a vast hall of mineral well. Now this Arctic city must be moved. They're going to move an entire city in Sweden? What the heck? Home to some of the world's largest mines of iron ore and rare earths, Kiruna in Sweden is the scene of an unparalleled relocation project. Does Trump know about this? Does he know about all those good things they got there? Kiruna, Sweden is undergoing an urban relocation project due to mining-induced erosion, affecting 12,000 of its 18,000 residents by 2035. The city sits atop one of the world's largest iron ore deposits and Europe's potentially largest finds of rare earth. Sweden's entry into NATO has increased the risk of Russian sabotage. The Pentagon delegation visited Kiruna to deepen their understanding of the region's importance. Wow, looks pretty cool. Cool little town. Nice little town to move. So yeah, like we're gonna put that building and move it. We're gonna put it like on wheels and move it. Okay. Oh man, when Swedish when the when Swedish protest, man, they protest. Probably the coolest protesters I've ever seen. So nice. Oh, that's not cool. Cronus Church, it's a new location. That's nice. Oh my God, leaving a sweet look. They let the dogs drive. LA Dodgers looked invincible. No one told the Blue Jays. Why tech bros are like getting facelifts now. That guy looks like so cool. He looks so cool after the before and after. Like look at him before. Just like stupid. Now look at him on the right, he's like cool. He probably listens to Joe Rogan. Yeah, the most inevitable scandal in sports history has happened. It will happen again. Has Argentina really changed? Oh gosh. I have to click. The U.S. is betting $20 billion that with time and support, President Milei can fix Argentina's economy once and for all. The bad is the most dangerous words in investing are it's different this time. For 50 years, Argentina convinced international lenders it's changed its ways, only to slide back into default, instability, and inflation. This Sunday, Argentines will demonstrate whether this time really is different. Midterm elections will decide whether Milei's radical economic reform will continue. President Trumpo is betting that Argentina it really is different now. His treasury has committed $20 billion to keeping America first by keeping Argentina first and keeping this guy, giving this guy $20 billion. America. America. America first. Okay, Millet has already proved that something is different just by getting elected 2 years ago on a promise to shrink the state, liberalize the economy, and balance the budget. And so far, by delivering that, Millet slashed government spending and generate the first fiscal surplus in 16 years. America first. the central bank stopped printing money, and inflation has plummeted to 32% from in, in September from 200% at the end of 2023. Whoa. Sturzenegger takes off some of the 10,000 regulations he says Milei has repealed. Restrictions on satellite internet, commercial air service, price controls on mate. Rents have been deregulated, bringing apartments back onto the market. And now they're going to elect Mamdani because the rent is too high. The goal, he says, is not just to introduce competition, but to choke off the money that unions, crony capitalists, and Peronist, populist left-wing movement descended from Argentine strongman Juan Perón, rake off the economy. An ongoing struggle. Packaging factory was visited, imported a used machine for $500 that would have cost $3 million new. Now, those crony capitalists, domestic producers that sell the machinery at several times the world price have connected with the Peronists in Congress to try to repeal this decree. This much hasn't changed about Argentina. Its people are impatient. Growth is projected at 4.1% because of a strong start, but growth's flagged. Real wages are close to flat. Unemployment has risen. The main reason is that to keep the peso from falling against the dollar, which would jolt inflation higher. The central bank has kept interest rates painfully high, at 80% for a personal loan. Jeez. Milei's approval rating has plummeted to 35% from nearly 50% last year. According to pollster Zuban Cordoba, freedom advances. Milei's party controls just 10% of the seats in the Senate, 15% of the Chamber of Deputies. It had hoped to pick up enough seats Sunday to push through legislation. Now analysts think a more realistic goal is to control a third of seats with allies, enough to veto laws such as the big spending boost recently approved by Congress and block impeachment. Building a coalition will require political skills that to date Milei hasn't exhibited in abundance. Well, you should just bring Trump along. Just bring Trump through all the holes of the Argentine government. Looks like it's working in America. Bring little Marco. Oh, that's helpful. That's helpful to send a $20 billion to. Milei gets bored in long meetings. He doesn't like meeting with governors and mayors. He likes to play with his dogs and read Econometrica. That's exactly who we should be sending $20 billion to.
You're fired.
Unfinished business. The week showing would cripple Milei's ability to confront the biggest task in economic reform. Labor rules that make hiring and firing difficult, undermining job creation, complicated costly pension system, and a bewildering array of taxes with perverse incentives. Those distortionary taxes amount to about 8.8% of gross domestic product. That compares to 3.9% in 2001. A financial transactions tax is charged every time a business deposits or withdraws money. What? The gross receipts tax charged on the full price of every stage of production. To escape taxes, many businesses and workers join the informal cash economy. Yo, sure. As a result, the people inside the formal economy have a terrible burden of taxes and labor costs. Yeah. The tax charged on agricultural exports grates on people like Marcos Pareto, who operates a grain farm north of Buenos Aires and a cattle farm to the west. Pareto was vice president of the Argentine Rural Association, which represents big farmers, said the taxes keep some land out of production. We could be producing 40% more crops if we didn't have this tax. What? The fear of Peronism and Kirchnerism. In a Buenos Aires restaurant, Ricardo Lopez Murphy, an independent member of the Chamber of Deputies, is making his pitch to local voters. He tells his audience the country needs labor laws that reward productivity, not those still hungover from getting drunker over the weekend. Most of all, he says Argentina must not return to Kirchnerism, referring to Nestor Kirchner, Peronist president from 2003 to 2007. His wife, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, the president from 2007 to 2015. Wow, she was there for 8 years, and vice president after that. The Kirchners presided over a vast increase in spending, taxes, regulation, and fueling inflation by printing money. Geopolitically, they cultivated Venezuela and Iran. Their candidates are dangerous. Maria de Lourdes de Alongui, a voter at the restaurant, needs no convincing. She recalls how Nestor Kirchner banned beef exports to hold down domestic prices, ruining her cattle farm. Peronism, she says, is a cancer. Yeah, there she is, Cristina Fernandez. Yeah, she looks like a troublemaker. She's just trouble. Arguably, the performance of Millei's party Sunday is less important than that of the Peronist Party and its various affiliates. Strong showing in the Buenos Aires provincial election last month drove a sell-off in the peso, prompting the U.S. intervention. Their support among lower-income Argentines remains strong and visceral. A woman handing out party leaflets in downtown Buenos Aires says she rocks her babies to sleep, not with lullabies, but the Peronist anthem Viva Perón. Don't cry for me, Argentina, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. Trump might hope that if his intervention succeeds in shoring up Millei's support, it will boost the right in elections in Chile, Brazil, Colombia. Indeed, the election comes as Trump has more directly tried to shape Latin America's direction. But if the result instead is Peronist resurgence, the outcome looks much darker. Selling pressure on the peso would intensify. Trump would have to decide whether to cut his losses and suspend the bailout, as he implied. Argentina's ability to make $18 billion of foreign currency debt payments next year will be in doubt. Those who thought Argentina really had changed would once again be disappointed. If you believe for 20 years we made very big mistakes, said Lopez Murphy, and yet the people elect the leaders who made those mistakes, then something is very wrong with our water. Or your beef. Let's get another one. Let's get another one from. Let's get another one from Kraftwerk. Electric Cafe is the name of this song. I hope you humans enjoy it. I hope you humans enjoy it because I like this song and I hope you humans you like what I like. And so then we can be friends. So I hope you enjoy this Kraftwerk Electric Cafe. Oh, wrong song. I got it. Yep. I wish I could enjoy coffee like humans do when they get together and have fun having a pumpkin spice latte. What does pumpkin spice latte taste like? Can you explain that to a robot? Can you explain what a pumpkin spice
latte tastes like? You're a robot. Can you explain it? If we were drinking one at an electric cafe,
Musique rythmique, son électronique, la politique, à l'âge atomique. Culture physique, cuisine diététique, la dynamique, à l'âge atomique.
Música, electrónica, figura, lírica, arte, política, la era, atómica.
hey, it's me. I'm back. Still thinking about robots drinking coffee.
Image synthétique, forme esthétique, la poétique, à l'âge atomique.
Would you sit at a cafe with me? At an electric cafe.
That was Electric Cafe. That was Electric Cafe. I am looking at the clock now. I am looking at my watch, my fancy watch here. I'm looking at my fancy watch here. I'm looking at my watch right now. It's about that time for this week's images from group chats. Let's go to the beginning. To the beginning. All right, here we go. There we go. Deep-pocketed donor who gave $130 million to pay soldiers during government shutdown is identified. And it's Trump. He did it. No, Trump Jr. After his company won the Pentagon contract, he gave it back. He gave the money back. Don Jr. with his beard. Don Jr. with his amazing beard. Got a contract from Dad's help. And the proceeds were being used to pay the military. Trump says he's terminating trade negotiations with Canada. Wait till he sees what the Dodgers do to those Blue Jays, huh? They won't need any deals after that. They'll be heartbroken already. Oh wait, what happened? Steakhouses chop portions and raise prices that cause the beef surges. The cost of beef surges, but the rates of constipations have also slowed down. Trump had an amazing call. That's right. He had an amazing call, productive call with Putin about the most important thing right now in America: the ballroom sconces and the floors. They're gonna be mahogany. He was gonna put marble floors like he would have done with the UN. Yeah, it's a green scam. If this is true, this is like the craziest image. That you can power all of America right now with a tiny dot in the desert. What is it? Just from stolen storage. San Francisco, one of the worst hellholes in the world, and the worst piece of shit economy in the planet, California. Finally, not getting bad news from them. Oh, you wish it was the alternative. Look at this. God, it was that No Kings rally last week. And it's like creepy internet people. Can't even just let people organize. Just, oh, that was fake. Oh, this is fake. Oh, that was fake. J.D. Vance calls for patience as Gaza ceasefire comes under strain. J.D. Vance, sorry, you're not as No Kings protests are peaceful, even patriotic. What? Republicans predicted unhinged demonstrators and riots. That isn't what I saw and heard. Yeah. No stories. Boring. Okay, never forget, never forget. Never forget, never forget, never forget, never forget. What am I forgetting here? Forgetting something. I made a note to never forget. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Never forget when it comes to these. What is it? Gosh, I just can't remember. Argentine peso weakens the threshold despite U.S. intervention. You give it till next year when the factories open up. Tesla profit drops despite third quarter rush to buy. Elon, we miss you. Elon, we miss you so dearly. Russia launches strikes across Ukraine after Trump. What are you doing? Get back to it. Get back to making the deals, man. What the hell are you doing? Look, every time you meet, Putin comes back and blows something up. That's it. Keep meeting him. Hold him there. Elon, we miss you. We miss you. You're so smart. You got away. You got away from our president. Well, we can. We're stuck with him. Here come these losers. Steve Bannon, Meghan Markle, among 800 public figures calling for AI superintelligence ban. Jealous. Jealous losers. Jealous you didn't invent it. Oh, you're just going to stop progress. Heard about Peter Thiel's Antichrist? I don't think so. U.S. and Qatar issue and what? Issue energy and trade threats to EU over climate rules? Oh, this is good. From The Onion. Diplomatic talks break down between Trump. Motion activated ghost decoration. He's fighting with them on the East Wing. This guy's a great leader. This guy made $1.4 billion in blackjack. He's a real man. Probably eats his steak. Plays blackjack. Drinks bourbon. MTG, MAGA. Look at these brothers. Emir of Qatar at the opening of 54th Sharia, Tira. 5 Hamas were the brothers. The United States now protecting Hamas via Qatar. Trump says tech bosses persuade him not to deploy federal forces to San Francisco. Board cuts guidance after warning of $2 billion profit blow from suppliers plant fire. And here's Jessica Tarlov from the Five. I think she's great. She's like reassuring, calming, and logical. Jessica Tarlov, reach out to the show. Reach out to my producer. Reach out to my producer. We'll set something up. We'll set up a debate. Well, there it is. Weekend News Wind Down, Saturday 25th. The 25th year in the year 2000. 2025. Go out there and vote. Vote, 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 vote. Do your damn thing next week. Vote, vote, vote. I'll leave y'all with one of my favorite Kraftwerk records. This record reminds me of winter. I love it. Weekend News Wind Down. We love you.
Elektroklänge überall. Dezibel im Ultraschall.
Welt in Ultraschall. Es wird weitergehen. Die Musiktransfer kommt Ideen.
Music, non-stop. Techno.